Hi, I'm Amber with Olive Tree Counseling Center. We just want to take a moment to talk about the steps we're taking to reopen the counseling center through this season of COVID. Because we're an international group and people are flying in from all over the world to receive this critical care, we're trying to take extra precautions to ensure everyone's safety. We have a really helpful handout that goes into detail on each of these points. Please read that fully before arriving, and your counselor will also go through those with you at your first session. Here's a few things you might want to know before you arrive. Our country does require that masks are worn in all public buildings, and they will also often take your temperature at the door before entering any public spaces. You will be asked to provide contact information upon arrival from international flights. Expect to have your temperature taken there as well, and if you have any symptoms, they'll do a quick nasal swab test. We're taking extra precautions at the office as well. Things like airing the building out every night, providing hand sanitizers, wiping down all the public spaces regularly, and even staggering your arrival times to help eliminate client exposure. When you arrive, your counselor will also need to take your temperature. And if you begin to develop symptoms before you arrive or during your time here, or up to 14 days after leaving Olive Tree, please notify your counselor and get tested. If you've been directly exposed to the virus, and that means that you've been in close contact with someone who has tested positive for COVID in the last 2 weeks, we require that you quarantine if that overlaps with your time at Olive Tree. If those days overlap, your counselor can work with you to continue to provide counseling either now online or at a later date. If you're exposed and are now quarantining, this does not apply to your family or others you've been in contact with in the last 2 weeks, unless you test positive for COVID. Symptoms for COVID can include tiredness, sore throat, coughing, fever, shortness of breath, or a loss of taste or smell. So if those things happen, please get tested and notify your counselor immediately so we can help prevent the spread in the office. Olive Tree counselors are following the exact same protocol. If your counselor has been exposed or has tested positive for COVID, they will contact you to reschedule or possibly have you meet with a different counselor. Thank you for helping us maintain a safe and a healing place at Olive Tree during this season. It's our prayer that we can be a place of hope and restoration and healing, despite the stressors happening all around us today. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this, and we look forward to seeing you at Olive Tree very soon.